More mages in the bot lane? Aw, shoot, here we go again. Hello summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Dan, and today we present to you a new abomination running rampant in the bottom lane, Karthus. The Death Singer has always found play in jungle and mid, but with the current meta shifts of mages going bot lane, Karthus has made his entrance once again. Karthus is a unique champion, so we'll be breaking him down so you can carry with him in solo queue. For our questions of the day, which character do you like to play in its off-meta role? Personally, I love playing Shaco support. Being able to annoy enemies with poke and watching them get frustrated and engaging straight in my boxes is quite a sight to see. Leave your answers in the comment section below and join our Discord to discuss with the community what you think. I look forward to reading your answers and trying them for myself. And lastly, before we get started, make sure to check out ProGuides.com. There we have courses from your favorite pro players like Double Lift and many challenger level coaches who can take your gameplay to the next level. We also have daily live classes from top tier instructors like Zyrene and Mike Young. Don't miss out on these great opportunities to improve and join the community. With that being said, let's jump straight into the video. Karthus is a champion that has extremely high carry potential. He is straightforward to play and even rewards suiciding into the enemy team sometimes. He works similarly to other mages with his zoning tools and ability to farm from long ranges if he cannot walk up. But the greatest thing about him is having an ability designed to lock on to all 5 enemy champions and explode for damage. That, my friends, is what we call a tactical nuke. Let's break down Karthus' abilities to get a better understanding of what he does. Starting off with his passive, Death Defied. Upon taking fatal damage, he remains active, allowing him to cast any of his abilities at no cost. A quick note here is that you will have an indicator around your ultimate showing you how long you have before you cannot ult anymore. Make sure you pay attention to this once you die so you can maximize Q damage before having to use Requiem. Karthus' Q is called Lay Waste, but the street term is called Skittles, just like the candy. The target range is 875, with the effect radius being 160 units. The ability gives him vision of the target area while detonating after 0.5 seconds to deal magic damage. Keep in mind that the damage is doubled when hitting one target, so abuse this mechanic when you can to bully opponents. Karthus' W is called Wall of Pain. He creates a wall of energy at a target location for 5 seconds, granting sight around the pillars. If any enemies pass it, they're slowed for 4 seconds and lose 15% magic resistance. This ability is really important when bursting down enemies because it makes it a lot easier to land your Skittles and do more damage. Karthus' E is called Defile. The passive simply restores his mana a certain amount when he kills an enemy. His toggle on it creates an area of effect circle around him, dealing magic damage every 0.25 seconds. A huge change Riot Games made is when Karthus dies, this ability is automatically activated while he's in his passive form, so no need to worry about this one. Lastly, my personal favorite, the ultimate we all love, Requiem. Karthus channels for 3 seconds, dealing magic damage to all targetable champions upon its completion. There are many ways to dodge the damage on this ability, but they are usually very niche. A couple examples include Stopwatch Active, Banshee's Veil Shield, and some champion-specific ones, including Maokai using W as the channel goes off, or Shaco timing his ultimate really well. We're not going to sit here all day going through every single one, but that should show you the very few ways you can dodge the Requiem while it's being casted. Now that we understand what he does, why exactly is he good in the bottom lane? Can't you just play him jungle or mid lane? To start, there's nothing wrong with playing him in his traditional roles. He's still a fine champion with a strong ability to gank or push lanes. But the reason he excels in bottom lane is due to the fact that he completely outranges everything. Take this for an example. Caitlyn is one of the longest range marksmen in the game, boasting a 650 auto attack radius, while Karthus' Q range is 875. On top of that, since the radius of the Skittle is 160, that means it extends further by 80 more range from the maximum range cast, effectively giving him 955 range. I don't know about you, but 955 minus 650 is 305, quick maths. This just goes to show you how easy it will be to poke enemy champions when they try to last hit minions, since they need to stand still to do so. Especially with all the mages finding their way into the bottom lane because of their strong early game presence and same level of scaling as traditional ADCs, Karthus may as well be thrown into the mix to further push the narrative of marksmen being weak. Here is a quick myth we want to debunk on Karthus. People may say that during Karthus' ultimate channel that the Luden's Echo will proc on the person at the top of his scoreboard. However, this is untrue and was patched, so it now instead focuses on the person nearest to Karthus. There may be some niche situations that this may swing a fight, so use this information how you will. With that spicy take of the video gone, going into the runes and builds of Karthus bottom lane, it may vary differently compared to jungle and mid lane, so keep that in mind while watching the next segment. The runes consist of Dark Harvest, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, the secondary page will have Presence of Mind, and Coup de Grace. You will finish off the page with Double Adaptive and Armor or Magic Resistance. We see the occasional Airy rune page, but while the logic may match up with what Karthus wants to do, which is poke. Our analysts highly recommend Dark Harvest because of the infinite scaling factor and high burst potential when focusing targets that are low HP. Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter will give you the sustain you need throughout the game, but do not be discouraged to try Ultimate Hunter. You will lose out on some sustain, but will have a lot more opportunities to use your Requiem and secure kills that would have gotten anyway. Coup de Grace will heavily complement your Dark Harvest, which will make opponents easier to kill when they are low HP with your Skittles or R. Lastly, you want Presence of Mind to stack the mana, but more importantly to regenerate mana mid-fight. If you do not die, you can continue popping Lay Waste across the battlefield. Transitioning to the builds, we're not going to include two of his staple items, which are Rod of Ages and Archangel's Staff. In order for you to understand why we did not include these builds, we need to explain why they are good in the solo lane. Rod of Ages is an item that helps Karthus scale and gives him the hit points and stats needed to get through the early laning phase, while Archangel's Staff gives Karthus the mana and CDR to spam and shield himself. However, none of these items match what Karthus' bottom lane wants to do. While Karthus does benefit from these purchases, he excels in the bottom lane because he has a support in lane specifically there to help set him up for all-ins. If you haven't caught our drift yet, we're pointing to the fact that having massive amounts of mana or hit points is not helpful, because why not spend that money on more stats to just kill your opponents right when you get to the lane? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're telling you to just land all your Qs when you get to lane. So, with the build we're presenting, you will want to purchase Luden's Echo, Sorc Shoes, Oblivion Orb, Liandry's, Rabadon's, then Void Staff, and round out the Oblivion Orb with a Morellonomicon. To start, you purchase Luden's Echo for the early mana sustain in Lost Chapter. Once you complete it, you will have stats similar to an Archangel's Staff, but a faster damage spike and a proc that will help apply Liandry's later. From there, you purchase your double penetration item in Sorc Shoes and Oblivion Orb. Don't be afraid to upgrade to Morellonomicon if the enemy team has heavy healing tools like Soraka, Vladimir, or Dr. Mundo. After the pen items, purchase Liandry's to give you a lot of shred on big objectives like Dragon and Baron to end out the game. If the game continues, you can adapt your build to the enemy team, but we recommend Rabadon's for the pure damage and Void Staff to penetrate the enemy's magic resistance purchases. During the early laning phase, look to use your Q on opponents while they are last hitting to guarantee the damage while last hitting with your auto attacks. We understand Karthus auto attack animation will take a little bit getting used to, but it will be very beneficial to focus your mana on poking opponents out of lane as soon as possible. If your support ever engages, immediately drop your Wall of Pain to reduce their magic resistance and chase them down from there for summoners or kills. Once you reach the mid-game, look to group and poke enemies while waiting for an engagement to happen. Huge note here, never flash in and try to engage as Karthus. You should always enter the fight as a secondary pseudo-tank once the fight has happened. When you enter the fight, place your W on the targets you want to focus and make sure you turn on your E. From there, land your Skittles and chase down your target until you die. Once you die, activate as many Skittles as possible and pay heavy attention to the indicator around your ultimate so you don't miss the timing. From there, ult, and the rest is history. Now that we understand what to do during the laning phase and mid to late game, let's give you guys some tips to pilot the champion as effectively as possible. 1. We're double downing on the Karthus Q dealing double damage when it's a single target, so focus on that when hitting enemy champions. 2. Once you have built Liandry's, don't be afraid to call for Baron sneaks with a control ward because you do it really quickly. 3. During random moments after level 6, pay attention to what's happening on the map, so if you see an opportunity to use your ultimate, pull the trigger and get a Dark Harvest stack along the way to start that scaling. Just make sure the enemies don't see you because they can cancel it with crowd control. 4. Use your Q to reveal brushes before warding or face checking them. 5. Once you level up your E, take advantage of the passive that allows you to restore mana by last hitting creeps with auto attacks and using Q to poke the enemy. In conclusion, Karthus is a champion you will start seeing a lot more in the bottom lane because of the meta shifts. With champions being buffed and nerfed and certain marksman characters being in a weak state, he will fit right in. I'm hoping one day that Riot Games makes an ADC that is designed to counter mage pick bot lane, because I'll be honest, a game where ADCs cannot compete with mid laners being brought bot lane is not fun for anyone. Expect the ones abusing the mages. Now, that concludes our latest video on Karthus. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to join our Discord below, where we do tons of coaching giveaways and community events. Lastly, don't forget to visit our website at ProGuides.com, where you can receive coaching from pro players, watch live classes, and improve with courses from pro players. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you all so much for watching, and good luck out on the rift.